Yeah, this 4batz's EP is not good. Man, what do I even say about this thing? It's the kind of project that if you know, you know, you don't, you don't. And chances are, if you're aware, it's only through like the viral visuals and videos that have come along with kind of the breakout singles that dropped out of nowhere in advance of this thing. And while I kind of appreciate at a baseline what tracks like Date at 8 are doing or trying to do with the eerie, stripped back, kind of alternative skeletal R&B production, the very nasally boyish lead vocals that are sort of odd and unbecoming of a dude like 4batz's who's looking, you know, a little shady, singing in the shiesty, and the story that he's telling on the track, which honestly on some level is a little gross and entitled in terms of like what one thinks they might deserve after, you know, taking a girl out and, you know, spoiling her a little bit on a date. That much about the track I don't really like, but again, I get it. It's a vibe. It's a story. There's something to it. But I think the lesson in this EP is the importance of not rushing a project to market just because you have a hit viral track in video and a bigger artists like sort of chomping at the bit to collaborate with you in order to, like, you know, get a little bit of shine and exposure off of your random viral clout, looking at you Drake, looking at you Kanye West. Because while there is an appeal to this track, it's a trick. It's clear that in getting the rest of this EP together, 4batz's did not have any other really tricks prepared, as there are tracks on this thing that just feel like a boring, obnoxious extension of Date at 8. There are other tracks that infer that there's like a series of acts going on. In reality, when you look at the nitty gritty of all of it, it's not really that well connected. There are other cuts where I think 4batz's is wearing his influences on his sleeve in a way that's a little unflattering, as there are at least a few tracks on this thing that just feel like awful Weeknd ripoffs. And for the most part, the instrumentals and vocals across the entire thing are too one-dimensional, boring, lifeless, washed out, bland, to be extending them out for this long. And again, this isn't even a full album or tape, it's just an EP. And look, on some level, I kind of get it, and I understand if you're a new and upcoming artist and you're still finding your sound and you're putting yourself out there. You know, you never know which track you put together is going to be your big breakout moment. And if you don't already have a sound prepared and a direction in mind, you could get caught with your pants down because you may not have much to offer audiences outside of your breakout single. I feel like Ice Spice has very much found herself in this situation with Munch. However, I think she's been a lot better and a lot more careful in terms of dropping more tracks, being choosy about what she's putting out there, who she's collaborating with, how her collaborations are reflecting upon her, whether or not they're actually adding to her brand and bringing more popularity to her camp, like in the case of the Pink Pantheress crossover that happened a while ago. In the case of 4batz's, though, I don't really think Drake or Kanye added that much to his music or his ambiance, and I don't really think the additional tracks on this EP bring all that much to Date at 8. And now, because this has been rushed and put out there, whenever a bigger album or project does come down the pipe, that is going to have to go without Date at 8 now as a single. He is going to have to sink or swim on some genuinely new material that is refreshing, that is interesting, and from the sound of the rest of this EP, early on already, he seems to be having a hard time following that track up with something that is even half as interesting. So yeah, this thing is underwhelming, it's pointless, it's rushed, It is lacking in depth, it's lacking in sound, it's lacking in substance, it's lacking in everything. It's low-key obnoxious, and honestly, if you're looking for spacey R&B, there's about 2 million other superior options out there on the internet right now. So why you would listen to this instead, I don't know. Yeah, this 4batz's EP, it's not good.